Okay, girls, so there are so many lessons that we learn too late in life. There are so many lessons that my 20-year-old self needed that I didn't get until I turned 40. It keeps happening. Every year, I am learning more and more things that I wish I would have known before I turned 20. So that's what I called you over today. I just want to talk. I just need somebody to talk to today to go over and just review 11 lessons that I wish I knew in my 20s. Now, don't be stingy with this comfort, girl. You know a 20-year-old. You probably know a teenager, a 20-year-old, or even a 30-something-year-old that could benefit from this episode. So don't forget to like, comment, and share. Share it with somebody that can benefit. This is some good stuff, and I want to share it with you so that you can share it with somebody else. So girl, grab you something good. I am drinking water today because I need to hydrate. I'm feeling a little dehydrated, so I'm gonna drink me some water. Grab you whatever you want to grab, and let's get into these 11 lessons that I wish I knew in my 20s. Hey girl, welcome back. If this is your first time, hey there. My name is Shamika. I am your little sister, your big sister, your favorite cousin, your friendly neighbor, your prayer partner, your accountability partner, your business partner, workout partner, all of the things, girl, whatever you need me to be. And I create comfort for the ladies, the girlies, the sweet girls, and I help them discover and unlock the very best version of themselves and live an elevated life. And so if that is your vibe, stick around and subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of this community. We just believe over here, girl, that every day in every way we get better and better. Okay, girl, the first lesson, and let's just jump right into the deep stuff. The first lesson is decide what type of 80-year-old you want to be. Girl, have you seen the two different types of 80-year-olds? So you have the type that is incredibly agile, that has an incredible amount of energy, that probably still wears heels, and I'm talking about women, that probably still wears heels, and she shows up and she does not look her age. She probably looks 60 at the oldest, but maybe even 57, 58, something like that. That's the type of 80-year-old that most of us want to be. But when we're in our 20s, a lot of us live like we want to be the type of 80-year-old that is sickly, that has maybe 7 different medications, high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, I don't know, whatever other ailment that you could have. She walks slowly. She only wears gym shoes because that's the only thing that's comfortable for her. She doesn't dress like much because she doesn't really go anywhere. She only goes to the grocery store, the doctor's office, to church, and the library, and she goes back home. She doesn't get many visitors because she pretty much has isolated herself from family, friends, and any type of social life. She doesn't do much at all. That's how a lot of us lived in our 20s. We weren't eating right. We weren't drinking water as we should. We were partying. We were probably drinking the wrong stuff, if you know what I mean. Probably staying out all night, going to bed late, waking up late, not prioritizing our health, not prioritizing our mental well-being, hanging around the wrong people. We probably were doing a lot of stuff that we should not have been doing in our 20s. So decide, if you are the 20-year-old girly, decide now what type of 80-year-old you want to be. And then start living like you want to, first of all, reach that age, and then what you want to look like and feel like when you reach that age. It starts now. It doesn't start in your 40s. Don't wait until some of us that started in our 40s to prioritize our health and well-being. Start now. Your 80-year-old self will thank you. Speaking of 80-year-olds, the second lesson that I wish I would have learned way back when is that family is not forever. So don't spend your life in a way that makes you later wish you would have spent more time with your family. For me, my grandmother passed, my mother's mother passed when I was maybe 17 or 18. I was entering my first year of college, and I wish that I would have known that I did not have very much time with my grandmother. I would have spent a lot more time with her. So my grandmother lived in Ohio, and I grew up in Michigan. So geographically, it was impossible for me to see her every day or even every week, even every month sometimes. So maybe once a quarter I saw her. But my regret is that when I was old enough to travel more, that I did didn't go and see my grandmother more. I wish I would have spent so much more time with her. 40-year-old me is looking back at younger me like, girl, why didn't you spend more time with your grandmother? Because I would love to have heard the story of her life from her vantage point and from her perspective than someone else's. So I have so many unanswered questions that probably only she can answer, but I missed that opportunity. So family is not forever. Like, we have our grandparents, spend time with them. I mean, smother them to the point where you get on their nerves. I get on my granddaddy's nerves. I know I do. Whenever I see him, I completely smother him, and I call him and I ask him, does he miss me? He said no, because I just talked to you yesterday. I spend as much time as I can with my grandfather because I know that it's not forever. He could go or I could go. Either way, I'm going to take advantage of how much time I have with him. Make sure that you live your life in a way that you will not regret not spending time with anybody in your family. Even if it's your brothers or your sisters or your nieces, nephews, they eventually grow up and go on to live their own lives. If they're smaller, spend as much time as you can with them now so that you don't have regrets later. And number 3, plan like an adult, but dream like a child. Can you remember when you were a child? Can you remember the dreams that you had, the goals, the ambitions? Some of us wanted to be an astronaut. Some of us wanted to be the president of the United States. Some of us wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. Some of us wanted to be an actress. We were not afraid to dream when we were kids. We were incredibly audacious. When we were children, we didn't know any better. As adults, we've learned things that we probably need to unlearn. Life has happened that have somewhat shrunk our belief system in a way that we don't really dream big anymore. It's okay to dream big. Give yourself permission to sit with little you and remember the dreams that you had when you were young. Dream like a child. Children know no bounds. They don't have boundaries. They don't have limits when it comes down to their dreams. They dream big. They dream huge. So allow yourself permission to dream big like a child, but then plan like an adult. Adults know that without a plan, a dream is just a dream. You have to plan for what you want to be made manifest in your life. So plan like an adult, but dream like a child so that you actually can live the biggest, best version of this life. It's okay to do that. Give yourself full permission, dream like a child, and then plan like an adult. I love this one, and I wish I would have gotten it so much sooner than now. The 4th lesson is to consult your future and past self very often. What does that mean? Before you make a decision and you go to your girlfriends and you go to your husband and you go to your mentors or your parents or your pastor or your neighbor, anybody else, first, of course, seek the wisdom of God, but then seek the wisdom of your future self, and then even consult your past self. For example, if I am going to date this guy or go and change my career choice from career A to career B, before I do that, I'm going to seek the wisdom of my future self. My future self is more wise than I am because she knows more, she's experienced more, so she would have good insight for who I am today. It also will help you see if what you are looking to do or planning to do or pondering doing, if it aligns with who you are in the future, not just who you are today. Why does consulting our past self help? Because it really helps you understand where the decision is coming from or where the need for the thing is coming from. For example, if we're in a sunken place, if we're depressed, or if we're not feeling our best self, we can consult our past self. Now, your past self could be a childhood version of you, it could be a teenage version of you, or it could be who you were last week or last month or this time last year. Look at what you were that could potentially have led you to the decision or the place that you're in right now. See if it aligns with who you want to be, not who you were back then. I know that looking back in the past, it doesn't really serve us in every area of life, but there are some times when the past helps us make decisions for our future, because if we can understand where the decision is coming from or where the need is coming from, it'll help direct where we are trying to get to. Sometimes it's misplaced anger, misplaced hurt, misplaced feelings. It can be our nervous system not being regulated well because of things that it remembers or things that have happened in the past. So definitely when you're caught between a rock and a hard place, when making decisions, look in the past and see if it's something from the past that is contributing to what the need is today. Then also look in the future. Does it align with who I want to be? Does it align with my future self, my best self, my higher self? Make sure that you're looking at those things before making decisions. I wish I knew that, because there are so many decisions I would not have made had I consulted with who I am even today. And I'm not even the best version of myself yet. I'm not there yet. I'm on my way. I'm going there. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. But even who I am today could have taught 20-year-old Shamika, girl, that ain't it. Don't do that. That doesn't serve you. Who you will be at 40 will shake her head at the decision that you're about to make right now. So do that. Do yourself a favor. And I'm telling you, your future self will thank the self that you are today for consulting her more before making decisions. I promise. That is a fact. Okay, girl, number 5. You can thrive alone, but you don't have to. I wish I would have known this more. So I come from a really big family. My mother had 3 boys and 3 girls. So it's 6 of us. I have 5 siblings that I grew up in the house with. And I was never alone. Growing up, I was never alone. There was always somebody there. So I am used to community. I am used to shared spaces. So I thrive off of a family environment. I thrive off of having people around, always being surrounded by people. And I'm grateful for that, because it has helped me realize, know, and accept that there is somebody always that can be there for you. A lot of people self-isolate. They stay to themselves and they enjoy being by themselves all the time. Now, self-time and me time, it is a must. It is a must. It is 100% a must, but in its place and at its time. All the time being by yourself, all the time, never having anybody around, never being surrounded by any family or any friends all the time. I don't know that that's so healthy. Now, if you're that type of introvert that thrives only when you're alone, that's fine. But when it comes to doing life fully, when it comes to, career choices and projects for, your entrepreneurial journey or working on anything, it's okay for you to reach out to somebody else. Even if you're parenting, it's okay for you to reach out to somebody else. Even if when you're in a marriage with a spouse and, things aren't going so well and you need somebody to talk to, it's okay for you to reach out to someone else within your community, within your church, within your family, within your circle of friends. It's okay to do that, because you can make it alone. We came into the world by ourselves. For those of us that are not twins, we came into the world, even twins, they came one after the other. No person birthed 2 people at the same time, 2 babies at the same time. So even twins came into the world by themselves. So you can make it by yourself, but you don't have to. And sometimes it's a lot easier with somebody. The Bible talks about 2 being better than 1. So sometimes it's easier with somebody than by yourself. And a lot of times, making you feel like you need to isolate and you have to isolate and nobody's for you, nobody understands you, nobody gets you, nobody wants to help you, nobody loves you. A lot of that is a trick of the enemy to try to get you by yourself so that he can work in your mind and work on your mind and feed you more negative, damaging thoughts. So be careful about spending too much time alone. Again, alone time in its place and at its time is great for you. It's therapeutic for you. It is restorative for you. But not all the time alone is good for you, depending on what you're going through in life. So you can make it by yourself, but girl, you don't have to. Okay, this next lesson is one of my favorites, and it is life is a classroom. I say it all the time. There are lessons all around us. If we pay attention, there are lessons every single place around us. We get lessons all day, every day. There's a lesson. So what's important is that we pay attention and tap into the lessons so that they don't repeat themselves. A lot of times, and you've taken tests at school, you've taken spelling tests, you've taken math tests, and all these other type of tests, you've taken them. And a lot of times, if you fail, they make you take it again. Life is very similar in that same way. If you fail a test or if you don't get the lesson, sometimes the same thing will happen again and again. That's why a lot of people say, I'm attracted to the same guy. Or a lot of people say, I seem to date the same guy over and over again. I can't seem to stay debt-free. What's the lesson in getting debt-free the first time or learning how to manage your finances the first time that you could apply to your life for longevity, not just for that one season? If you get the lesson the first time, a lot of times, it doesn't need to repeat itself, because when you recognize that test again, you already know the answer. Just like 1 + 1 is 2. No matter where we are for the rest of our lives, we know that 1 + 1 is 2. Why? Because we got the lesson the first time. So the next time that we see that question, we already know the answer. Life is like that in a lot of ways. Very similar to what we learn academically. When you get the lesson the first time, you apply the same lesson, the same strategy, the same knowledge and wisdom to the same situation. And bada boom, bada bing, you got the answer. You got the lesson. Okay, the next lesson is, it touches my heart so much when I think about it, but it's so true. And if you get the lesson now, it's something that your future self will thank you for, because you know how to deal with it when it happens, because it will happen. When you grow, it doesn't only stretch your mind and stretch your life, it also shrinks your circle. There is a real thing called growing up and growing out. The more you grow, you outgrow people, places, thing. The part that hurts the most, the people, because my heart is still attached to this person. My mind outgrew that person. My life outgrew that person. My habits outgrew that person. My standards outgrew that person. But your heart is still there. So it makes it a little bit difficult for you to separate yourself or have some degree of separation from that person, because your heart still remembers the person from the past. Your heart still remembers the memories that you shared together. And no one can take those memories from you, but that person might not fit into the life that you live today. You have to be so loyal to yourself today, your higher self tomorrow, and the year after that, and your constantly growing self. Be loyal enough to that person, not the person from the past that had that person stuck to you or attached at the hip. And I don't even need to say it, but I bet you thought about someone that you outgrew. I bet you thought about listening to someone from your past or your present right now. When you talk to them, you realize you don't really have much in common with them anymore. Who we were back then, the teenagers that we were, the 20-year-olds that we were, even the 30-year-olds that we were, we're different. I'm different than who I was back then, but you seem to be the same. You know what that means? You outgrew her. You outgrew him, and that's okay. You have to make sure that you're loyal to the right version of who you are. And certainly we are not loyal to anybody else more than we are loyal to ourselves, the highest version of ourselves. So get that lesson now, so that when it happens, you don't feel so heartbroken. It's going to feel like a breakup. It's going to feel like a divorce. It's going to feel like you've abandoned that person, and they might make you feel bad about it. But at the end of the day, at the end of every single day, how they react to the decision that you made is their business, not yours. And there's a way to do it. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be nasty about it. You have to respect and honor who you are today and who you want to be tomorrow. If that person no longer rocks with homegirl or homeboy from way back when, it's time to move on. Okay, girl, this next lesson is something that not enough adults think about. Not enough adults think about it, much less put it into practice. But I wish I would have thought about this a long time ago, like 2 decades ago. I wish I would have thought about it. Unlearn just as much as you learn. What do I mean by that? A lot of our ideas and thought processes and the way that we process information, we did not learn it. We were conditioned to be that way. A lot of our unregulated nervous systems, they were conditioned to be that way. We didn't learn to be that way. And even if we learned it, because we are adults with agency now, we can unlearn it. Even the scarcity mindset. So I grew up in a house where I thought that we were well off. I mean, I knew that we weren't rich, but I didn't know that we had as little money as we did growing up. Because like I said, I grew up in a really big family. So my brothers and sisters and I were always together, and we spent a lot of time together. We watched one TV. I thought we were watching one TV because we wanted to be together, not because we couldn't afford another TV, you know. I learned somewhat of a scarcity mindset because of how I was raised and the household that I was raised in. So we couldn't leave lights on. You had to cut the light off. If you go out of the bedroom or go out of the living room, cut the light off behind you. Don't run the water too much. Why? Because we don't want the water bill to be high. We don't want the gas bill to be high. We don't want, the light bill to be high. So it kind of pruned a scarcity mindset in me. But as an adult with agency, I unlearned the scarcity mindset that I learned growing up. I unlearned the mentality of you have to work hard in order to have money. No, You can work smart to have money. I don't have to have a 9-to-5 job and that's the only way in the world to make money is to work for somebody else. No, I can be an entrepreneur. I can start a business. I could be a full-time content creator if I wanted to make money. So it's a lot of things that you learned in your life that you might need to unlearn so that you can live a better life. What lessons did you learn as a child that you now can look back on and say, yeah, no, not so much. I don't know if I agree with that. And it's okay that you don't agree with it. And I'm not shading your parents because I believe that our parents did the best that they can with what they had. I believe that they were the best parents that they could have been. I know my parents were. I hit the parental jackpot for sure. My parents were amazing. They did the best that they could do. But a lot that they learned and a lot that they taught us, they were taught as children. But when you know better, you do better. So now that I know better, if I have children, honey, let me tell you, I tell my godchildren, there is no scarcity. You have more than enough. You serve the God of enough. You serve the God who owns cattle on 1,000 hills. You serve the God who is rich, okay? The Bible says, the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow. The Bible says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Bible says, now unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we could ask or think according to the power that worketh in us. That sounds like we serve a limitless God. So because of that, I am limitless. I am an heir to the throne of God. I'm a joint heir with Jesus Christ. So that means that if my father is rich, guess who else is rich? Me. So I had to unlearn even my relationship with money. I had to unlearn the things that I learned. Money doesn't grow on trees. Now, okay, we know money doesn't grow on trees, but that built a scarcity mentality in me that I'll never have enough. So what did you learn as a kid that you can unlearn today as an adult that would support the big, beautiful life that you want to live, not the small, little life of scarcity and limits that you don't want to live? Think about it. Journal it out. I'm telling you, there are some things that you learned that you need to unlearn. Even that, okay, that's your auntie. So of course she's that way. We just accept her as she is. No, auntie don't get to treat me like trash. If auntie treats me like trash, auntie don't have full out access to me just because she's my aunt. No, that's not the way it is. Unlearn that. Unlearn the fact that just because it's your family, they get to do whatever they want to do to you and you have to accept it because that's your family. No, ma'am, Pam. You don't get to treat me like trash and I have to accept it. I don't have to accept that. You better unlearn what you need to unlearn, honey. Okay, girl, now this is one that I learned this year. I was this years old when I got this lesson. I wish I would have gotten it when I was 20. Don't take advice from anybody that you would not trade places with. I can think of so many times that I allowed people to give me advice and they were in a worse situation than I was in. When I look back over the times that I sought guidance and sought counsel from people that were not qualified to give me guidance and give me counsel, but I listened to them anyway, and I came to them anyway just because they were older than me, just because I thought they had more life experience and more wisdom than me, honey, I could smack my 20-year-old self like, girl, why are you listening to her? You wouldn't trade places with her. I cannot tell you how I would love to press the rewind button of life and go back and fix that and learn this lesson as a 16-year-old. I would go to people like, can you help me figure this out? Can you help me? Can you talk through this with me? I'm trying to make this decision. Even deciding the college that I would go to, I sought counsel from somebody that I would not have traded places with. I ended up at the college that I didn't want to go to. I ended up dropping out of the college that I didn't want to go to. And my life is so much different today. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for where I am today, all of the things. And I'm working on becoming the best version of myself. But had I made different decisions back then from listening to the right person, that's the problem. It's not that I didn't listen. I listened to the wrong person. Do not listen. Do not take advice from. Do not seek guidance or counsel from anybody that you would not easily trade places with. I don't care if it's your bestie. I don't care if it's your boyfriend, if it's your teacher. I don't care if it's your neighbor or a coworker or a manager at your job. If you cannot look at their life and say, I wouldn't mind trading places with her or him, do not take advice from them. Find you a mentor that you would actually trade places with, that you can look at their life and admire some aspect. If you can admire a few aspects of their lives or a few areas of their life, find you a mentor and seek counsel and guidance from that person, not somebody that is living a life that you don't want to live. Okay, girl, the last lesson is to nourish your friendships. Nourish your friendships. You can't choose your family, but you can definitely choose your friends. And the friends that you have, if you got some good girlfriends, some good Judies, nourish your friendships. Take the time to sow seeds into your friendships. Take the time to nourish them, to nurture them, to be a good friend, to wear friendship as a badge of honor. Like I said in one of the previous points, you can make it in life alone, but life is so much more fun and enjoyable when you have people to enjoy it with. So if you have some good girlfriends, spend time with them, check on them, send them a text message, let them know that they're loved, let them know that they're seen, let them know that they're important, let them know that you're there for them, because it might work out that one day you might need a good girlfriend. If you don't nourish your friendships, when you need a good girlfriend or when you need a friend, period, you will turn around, look around, and ain't nobody there because you didn't plant the seed of friendship. The Bible says that somebody that wants friends has to first show themselves friendly. So nourish it. Pay attention to it. It's just like a plant. If you don't pay attention to a plant and make sure that it gets the nutrients that it needs, the sunlight, the water, what's going to happen? It's going to wither away. It's going to die. It's going to be limb. It's not going to be beautiful and green. It's going to turn dark brown, and then eventually the leaves are going to start falling off, and then it's going to start smelling bad and all of those things. The same is true with your friendships. If you pay attention to it, and again, in its rightful place. If you're a married girly like myself, that's your top priority. But then a close second are my girlfriends. I cherish the relationship that I have with my girlfriends. I don't have very many of them, so the ones that I have, I hold close to my heart. And that is something that I have made an intentional decision to focus on and nourish my friendships. That's something that I wish I would have done in my 20s, even in my 30s, because then I would have girlfriends that I've had for 20 years. I'm meeting new girls now, which I love. I love meeting new people and collecting people, but I wish I would have known this back then, because the 20-year-old me had a bunch of friends, but I was dating this guy who was not my husband. And so I wasn't focused on nourishing my friendships. I just wanted my man. But now I look back and I see my friend group, they're still together. They're still rocking out strong. And I'm like, man, did I miss out on all of the good trips and the group chats and all of these things? I don't have very much regret in that area because I have two amazing sisters that I spend a lot of time with, and that we are we're a little baby gang, the three of us. But still, having friendships is very important. So if it's important to you, nourish the friendships that speak life to you, not the ones that drain you, not the ones that are one-sided. Those aren't the ones to nourish, but definitely nurture the ones that speak to you, that speak life to you, the ones that are there for you, the good girlies that check on you, the good girlies that when you go dark and silent, they notice it and they come after you like, hello, ma'am, where are you and what's going on? Those are the ones that you want to keep close to your heart, and that you want to make sure that they remain alive, and that you reciprocate. You reciprocate the same love, attention, affection, and support that they give you. So that's it, girl. These are just some lessons that I wish I would have learned in my 20s, but I'm so grateful that 40-year-old me got the lessons, and I am living in all of these lessons today, eating the fruit of the good decisions that I have made today. So I hope you get the lesson. Like I said, share it with somebody else. Don't keep this goodness to yourself. It's too good to keep it to yourself, honey. So share it out and comment this emoji to let me know that you made it to the end of this video. I know I was a little long-winded today, sorry, but I wanted to get it all out and let you know everything that I wish I would have known as a 20-year-old. So remember who you are, girlfriend. You are amazing. You are that deal. All things lovely, all things incredible. And I want you to remember that even on your darkest days, you are still the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. God loves you. I do too. And thank you so much for being here. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye, girl. Don't care what people say. I'm there for this.